Hello guys, welcome back to FrightFest. As we were saying before, you've already been like in August, wasn't it, with Heretics? Tell us, what can we expect from Peripheral? I haven't seen the film yet, so what should I expect going into it?
It's a very different film to my usual films, and it really is, I'd like to say, it's kind of an intense journey, which it was for all of us, really. It's I don't want to say too much, but it is, for me, it's a metaphor of what a writer goes through when they write their book. But imagine a descent into, what's the word? It's not a descent into hell, but it's like, it's the pain of giving birth is kind of like equivalent to what you went through, really. It's giving birth to your artist vision, giving birth to your sort of like soul, or like this little baby that's something that you've written for 2 years. And what we've done is kind of sort of made a kind of movie that sort of shows the depths of hell you can go through in writing a book and having to deal with these corporate entities. And we did it in a kind of very visually captivating way.
Hannah, you're the lead in the film. You play Bobby. What do we need to know about your character going into the film?
She's on her second book. So her first book was a real success, kind of like caused a kind of riot, youth riot, which I kind of imagined would be like the Tottenham riots, you know, that kind of youthful feeling of unrest and, you know, that they've been handed a really crap deal by the generation before them. And her book is really picking up on her first book really picked up on those themes. So now she's got this massive pressure. It's like the second album, you know. She's like, great, I can't do that again, but, you know, what do I do now? And she's also trying to stay away from drugs. So, yeah, she's kind of in the middle of this. When you meet her at the beginning of the film, she's in a tricky place.
And also we kind of touch on themes of addiction, whether it's addiction to social media, addiction to technology itself, addiction, because the thing is everyone has their addictions, whether it be food, whether it be sex, whether it be creative writing, everyone has an addiction, drugs, alcohol, whatever. And we kind of touch on those issues, don't we, really? Because everyone has, once technology gets a hold of you, it can make you addicted, but we also go through the sort of addictive process in many different sort of levels in this film.
I think everybody's addicted to social media at the moment, aren't they? It
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be able to get anybody off it.
Yeah, my God.
I mean, could any of you live a day without going on it?
I did a week and it was the best week of my life without it, and then went back on it.
I used to be a technophobe, and I said, right, I was always the last person on Facebook, last person on Twitter, but once it gets its claws into you, you can't stop. And I think that's the thing with this film. It shows once technology gets its claws into you, it doesn't stop and it keeps feeding off you. And I think that's something that we really touch upon in this film. And that's something that I've gone through personally is now, you know, I'm constantly checking my phone, checking my Twitter, and I suddenly look at myself and go, oh my God, I've become addicted to technology.
Yeah, I have that. I'll just like sit on the sofa and be like, okay, just going to check. And then an hour's gone. I'm like, I've sat here for an hour, like, looking at crap. What am I doing?
And pulling refresh.
Refresh on, like, some weird site. Like, it's so weird.
And also, you know, nowadays, medically condition is separation anxiety. That you actually, if your phone's off or your battery's died, you start to, you know, crave. And,
You don't know what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Which perpetuates a myth that we all need to know what everybody's doing at any minute of the day, which is ridiculous. But we all do it.
There's that pressure now, isn't there, to be accessible, particularly if you're in the public eye. You need to tell everybody where you are at all times, otherwise you're not doing it right. It's strange.
I think it's interesting with this film as well, because Bobby really doesn't want to do that. She really is fighting against the entrappings of fame, and it freaks her out. And then she ends up accidentally falling into this sort of technology vortex. And so it's kind of really sad that she really doesn't want to do it, but she almost can't help it.
And also, Bobby's fighting for more. It's like she's fighting for her soul. She's fighting for her vision. She's fighting against technology. She's fighting against addiction. She's fighting against her past demons. She's fighting against her old boyfriend and addictions that she had with him. She's fighting against her old life. So there's so much. This entire film is Bobby, you know, trying to sort of save her soul in a way.
Yeah.
And hang on to it while trying to write her masterpiece, which is what she lives for.
Yeah.
The three of you have obviously worked together before. What is it that brings you back together, and what is it you enjoy working with each other so much?
Well, I love working with Hannah and Rosie because I've worked with a lot of actors, and both Hannah and Rosie, they bring so much. It's not just you give them a part and you give them a role and they come along. They give so much back, whether it's their strengths, vulnerabilities. You always have in your head, oh, this would be a good role for so-and-so. And then they bring even more, and they keep giving, and you're there blocking something out, and their ideas and what they bring through their characters, it's always more than I expect. And, you know, I'm really lucky to work with them both.
Brilliant. That's all my questions for you guys. So good luck with the film today. I look forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.